World Environment Day has developed into a global platform for raising awareness and taking action on urgent issues like marine pollution, global warming, and sustainable consumption. World Environment Day 2018 is being hosted by India. The key theme this year is Beat Plastic Pollution. The total volume of all plastics ever produced, the equivalent of 1 billion elephants, is 8.3 billion tons. The same reasons that make plastic such an attractive material is also the reason that makes it such a headache to get rid of. Plastics are not soluble in water and they do not decompose easily. So every time we throw away plastics, it remains in the environment for hundreds of years. The banana leaf we throw away will decompose in a week or two, but the PET water bottle, unless recycled, will lie there for 450 years. Let's see some plastic numbers. Up to 5 trillion plastic bags used each year. 13 million tons of plastic leak into the oceans each year. 17 million barrels of oil is used on plastic production each year. 1 million plastic bottles bought every minute. 100,000 marine animals killed by plastics each year. 100 years for plastics to degrade in the environment. 90% of bottled water found to contain plastic particles. 83% of tap water found to contain plastic particles. 50% of consumer plastics are single use. 10% of all human generated waste is plastic. Since Vizag is a coastal town, let us focus on how we as a city affect our environment. This is a Gedda in Pandurangapuram. Styrofoam plates at Tenety Park. Gedda outlet to the sea at RK Beach. A completely inadequate engineering solution. Typical assorted plastics and foams. We generate the waste in our city and send them off to our sea. Well, the sea decides to give some of the plastics back to us and they land up at Rushikonda beach. And this was the rubbish floating around near the Yacht Festival venue earlier this year. Most of the plastics then float off into the sea and the oceans. Just one patch of floating plastics called the Pacific Patch is 1.6 million square kilometers in area. That is half the size of India. 8 million kilograms of plastics lands up in the ocean every year, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Not only that, nets lost by fishing trawlers called ghost nets float along ocean currents, trapping and killing millions of fish and marine mammals as they go along. By 2050, there will be more plastic in the oceans than fish unless we act now. Calls to action. Governments must take leadership by enacting strong policies that push for recyclable plastics instead of single-use plastics. The private sector must innovate, adopting business models that reduce the downstream impact of their products. Every plastic manufacturer must take responsibility for the pollution that their products are causing today. Society, people like you and I, must act as both consumers and informed citizens, demanding sustainable products and embracing sensible consumption habits in our own lives. We can start by using less disposable plastics. Let us pledge to carry our own shopping bags, drink from reusable water bottles, and separate our waste so that recyclable plastics can be segregated easily. Drinks bottles, a rising tide of plastic. 1 million are bought every minute. 480 billion bottles were sold in 2016. 110 billion of those were made by Coca-Cola. Less than 50% is collected for recycling. Less than 7% were turned into new bottles. We can do something about this right now. This World Environment Day onwards, stop serving water in single-use plastic bottles at gatherings, meetings and conferences. GVMC, Vuda, Collectorate, Port Trust, Steel Plant, HPCL, Navy, Dockyard, Pharma, IT, SEZ, Kalyan Mandapams, railways, universities, hotels, clubs. In fact, every large organization can help beat plastic pollution. just by this one important gesture right away. Let us adopt a new mantra from today onwards. If you can't reuse it, refuse it.